welcome back to the Venus Report. My name is Kate. I'm an embodiment coach, artist, and astrologer.
And my name is Liz. I am a content producer and studying herbalist focused on seasonality, and this is Astrology Unhinged.
Welcome back. If you haven't yet listened to these episodes, welcome. Me and Liz are sisters, and we've been studying astrology at a very life level for a long while, and we bring you these episodes to be approachable conversations about astrology and how the planets affect our lives.
Yes, and if you are at all interested in self-discovery, self-actualization, you will definitely gain some value from these episodes as we are very approachable. We try to make this listenable to anybody who is at any level of experience. So if you like these episodes, please like and subscribe, leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. We love feedback. Any of it is great. We also have links in the description. We have resources in the description as well for if you want to pull your birth chart, if you want to just know more about us, we have links as well. And yeah.
We did an episode last week about sidereal versus tropical astrology, which are like the two main camps of astrology. And me and Liz have been really wanting to talk about this topic for a while. And then which leads into the conversation today that we're going to have around the fusion of signs, or the cusp signs, as you've probably heard it. So if you want, I would suggest, me and Liz would suggest, that you listen to the episode previous on the sidereal versus tropical astrology. And this episode will make a lot of sense. So Liz, why don't you get into a little bit of why we're talking about the fusion of energies?
Yes. So the fusion of energies, as many people know, is also called the cusps of the zodiac signs. So this is definitely, for two reasons, important. So if you are interested in learning about sidereal, but you're definitely more used to learning about tropical astrology and knowing that the summer solstice means you're a Cancer, all of that, if you're interested in learning other types of astrology that are more based on the constellations, this is going to be an episode that's going to help you out a lot. Also, if you have any planets that are at 27 degrees of a sign to 3 degrees of a sign, you have a bit of a cusp energy with whatever planet that is. And these interpretations are going to be valuable to you, as we used tarot and oracle decks to do these interpretations, but also, along with our intuitive interpretations of these, used what we already know about astrology and all of the zodiac to interpret kind of a fusion, bring it all into one meaning. So this is going to be accurate, like I said, if you're interested in sidereal astrology, and also if you have any cusp, signs on the cusp, like I said, those engagement ranges. And then I have the dates here for every interpretation that we have. So if you don't know if you're a cusp sign, we have all the dates here, and then you'll be able to tell which one is accurate to you.
Okay, so the reason also, a cusp energy is when you're born, say we're talking about the sun on a cusp. If you are born within the last like 3 to 5 degrees of Aries, for example, then you've got this like mature Aries energy. And right at 30 degrees is where each sign moves into the next. So when Taurus energy begins, it's right at 30 degrees Aries into 1 degree Taurus. So for example, if you were born with like at a 30 degree or 29 degree, the anaretic degree is like 29 to 1, 29 degree Aries sun, you've got like a mature Aries energy, but you've also got that Taurus because the sun was just about to enter the Taurus energy. So that's why we're talking about cusps, because it's so important. It's such a different energy than say like 1 degree of Aries versus like 29 degrees of Aries. It's such a different energy. So we want to bring in the degrees and why that matters in astrology. So another reason I will just kind of mention again is that if you're interested in sidereal, it's like a rule of thumb that the planets are about, or the sun is about 20 degrees behind where it is right now. So in sidereal, it's 20 degrees behind tropical. Is that
Yes.
right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, for instance, I was born on June 27th, and that is about 5 degrees. That's about 5 degrees of a Cancer sun, right? But in sidereal, I don't even know the exact, but I'm a Gemini, and I'm probably more towards the middle. I'm like a middle
Mhm.
Gemini in sidereal. So, as Kate was just explaining, like the anaretic degrees are very important. If you were born on the day that the sun moved into a different sign, this is going to be obviously very accurate for you as well. But yeah, I think we're taking it with like a bit of a range, so not so much like oh, only at like the anaretic degree and first degree. We're taking it a little bit further so that even if other planets are in like a 3 degree engagement range, it's still going to be accurate to you, even if people wouldn't consider that a cusp. We are considering
Mm.
it a fusion and a cusp today.
Exactly. And I really believe that we can feel the new energies coming. It's kind of like when you see a
Yeah.
wave on the horizon and it's coming in. Like that affects us. When you can
Yeah.
feel a new energy about to come in, there's something that stirs like where exactly you are. So there's no
Yeah.
way that it can't affect, that it doesn't affect like the degree. The degree
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And it's the last
Okay.
thing I'll say, like you said, like the mutable, the energy of change and the energy that like kind of we're in right now as we're in Virgo season and the leaves are changing, all of that. It's a really interesting thing when you are talking about this area of switching over into something new and something that has always been known to be different from one another, like astrology itself has always defined these certain places in the sky and how they're different from the next and what the next one teaches you versus the last. So we think that just the fusion is just a really good example of how to interpret things that are at an anaretic degree at the very beginning. So without further
Mm.
ado, I think we will get started with Pisces Aries with Kate. And these dates are going to be March 17th to March 22nd.
Awesome. So Pisces to Aries energy. So immediately, when you think of Pisces, Pisces is the depths, it's the last sign of the zodiac. It's the emotional experience of the whole, it's unity, it's unified consciousness. And moving back to the beginning of the zodiac, it's the very last moments. And it's this culmination of all the wisdom of the signs, of the 12 signs, into Aries, which is like the baby energy. It's like that spark in the dark, right?
Hmm.
So with this energy, it's very Two of Wands. So I pulled Two of Wands for this interpretation. So there's a man holding the earth, and he's got two wands. One is in his right hand, and the other is down by his side. And the wands cards represent fire, the fire energy, which is Aries, and action
Hmm.
taking. So you're taking action with this cusp, like with this energy. You take action based on the understanding and the wisdom of the whole and how we connect with all that is spiritually,
Wow.
emotionally, mentally, like all of this interpreted and understood is Pisces. And you take that wisdom. This is the wisest cusp, in my opinion, because
Hmm.
it's both really old and really new. So with
Yes.
the
Oh my
Aries,
God.
you're coming in with this defining sense of unity, and you're using the wands. The two wands represent the duality of all things, and then you're taking action from that place, right?
Wow.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, so there's just a very unique connectedness with all that there is, with everything that exists in this cusp energy.
Mm.
So leaving the comfort zone, this can be a thing that could be tough for people born with this cusp, people who have people who are early Aries or late Pisces may have
Hmm.
this energy of like, what do I take action on? Or like trouble moving forward. Or they could
Hmm.
be on the exact opposite side of the spectrum, and there's like this barreling through energy of like, I've got to get all these things done, and I actually need to step back in order to ground myself and to like take real solid action in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
wrote
feel
down.
like, go ahead.
I wrote down an emotional maturity and a completing karma energy.
Yes. Oh my God. I also wanted to say something with this one, even though it wasn't my interpretation. Like the boundless boldness, like you said, like the initiation, but also like feeling just really connected to spirit or whatever spirit represents for you is gonna be, that's like the pull, that's like the challenge here, if there is a challenge. It's like you feel interconnected to all, but you also feel like there is a bold fire taking place in your being where that needs a little bit more structure or something along those lines.
Cool.
Okay,
Let's go to the
cool.
next one.
Aries, Taurus. This is April 17th to April 22nd for your Aries, Taurus suns. And yeah, so late degrees of Aries, early degrees of Taurus. So I wanted to introduce the deck that I used, which was the Herbal Astrology Oracle by Adriana Alias. She is the owner of Anima Mundi Herbals, if anyone knows that company. They're amazing. They do all sorts of wellness products based on herbs. So with this deck, I pulled rosemary. And with this just general, I'll say the general interpretation of the herb and then like the guidance with it. So this represented multi-dimensional sight, recollection, commitment, loyalty, and to loyalty to a vision and seeing beyond the contracts of everyday life. I thought this was really interesting, the loyalty, the commitment, and the vision, like the sense of sight. The sense of sight that's almost like very fire, like you can see beyond, and it's just very like spark like and it's bold in a way. So I just thought that was really interesting as Aries Taurus. The connection between the beauty we find in life and the ability to will it into our experience. Commit to the things that move you and inspire you. That was kind of the message for Aries Taurus. A little bit of my own interpretation with the interpretation of rosemary itself. So seriously, so accurate. I don't know if I could have said it any better. Like connection between the beauty we find in life and the ability to will it into our experiences. So like as an Aries Taurus, you might have this energy towards will in terms of the beauty that you find in life or Venusian things that you want in your life. It almost feels like this Aries Taurus cusp is very much like finding that action to have that or obtain it, to obtain the desires that you feel naturally. What I pulled with this one with the Rider Waite deck was the Judgment card. So I kind of interpreted this obviously with the natural interpretation of judgment, but considering Aries Taurus, see your experiences for what they are. Avoid sugarcoating reality, although it might be easier in moments. As I was just saying, Taurus, Venusian energy can like grab onto those things that might look beautiful. But see both the good and the real in situations and experiences. So I just think that that was a really interesting interpretation of Aries Taurus. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know and let us know in the comments if these are also accurate to you if you're a cusp sun
Yeah.
or a cusp any planet. Cool.
Okay. Taurus Gemini. What are the dates for this?
This is May 18th to May 23rd.
Okay. So from Taurus, we're in this like sensual energy of like our sensual experience of taste, touch, smell. And that's what Taurus is concerned with. It's Venus. It's like how we relate to the world around us. It's again, and we're in this like young energy still. So
Yeah.
the Taurus Gemini cusp is like the very energy that you know what's around you. You have mastered the world around you, maybe like of material in material sense, like you feel comfortable in your surroundings and
You know
you're
what you like.
enjoying
Yeah.
material you're enjoying material wealth, abundance, and like the comforts of your environment, food, like you're set. And then I'm sorry, Gemini brings in the factor of other individuals and other opinions and perspectives. So I pulled Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords for this one. So there's that mastery of Earth, that right, and then you're moving into Eight of Swords, but it was reversed. So there's this, actually this card reversed is positive, whereas it's saying like you're not stuck. There's other perspectives that are introduced in the new Gemini energy, and the freedom of self-acceptance within the comparison where, with this air sign Gemini, you're bringing in the mind, you're bringing in comparison to other people, you're bringing in other perspectives on how you should be living your life. So
Wow.
there's this fusion of this sensory selfhood like that you've got, and then the other person, but it's still self-centered because it's Taurus Gemini. It's like it's the bottom of the zodiac. So
Yeah.
like we talk about what we don't like, what we do like, we understand our own needs, and we're curious. Early Gemini energy or signs or planets are like so curious, like
Yeah.
really wanting to debate, really wanting to talk, really just wanting to converse with yourself, and at the same times with others. Yeah, it's like it's less about serious partnerships and more about like how to interact with other minds and bodies, like as somebody who's integrated in their own sensory experience.
Oh my
So,
God. Yes.
yeah.
Wow. That was a great quote.
Yeah. Like this energy, it's mature and on the Taurus side and new on the Gemini side, right? So again, ready to talk and also financially savvy, sensually aware, feeling safe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
I feel like this,
interpretation of that.
yeah, I feel like like a anoretic degree Taurus really knows what they like. And
Yeah.
they're really in touch with what they dislike, what they like, what they want.
Almost stubbornly so.
Yeah, yeah, and it shows up in Gemini as like being like curious, but like also like, oh, I also know myself kind of thing. Like you've developed that self to an extent. I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Okay, we are at Gemini Cancer, yeah? Gemini Cancer. So this is June 18th to June 23rd. Um, and yeah, so this is going from mutable air to cardinal water. And we are stepping into the first like emotionally aware, emotionally tapped in sign of the zodiac, in terms of how that can represent with considering like an old Gemini. So yeah, like you're saying, I'm trying to also just put this into perspective. Like the old Gemini is well aware of their current environment, is now knowing that there are other individual aspects of others that affect you. And it's the duality of life. It's always like the interplay of two. And now we're heading into like this new season. It's water. It's definitely like the summer solstice, like the culmination of everything. It almost feels like full moon sometimes when I think of the beginning of Cancer season. It's like very full moon energy, like the culmination of what you've learned thus far. We are at the quarter life. So with the herbal astrology deck, I pulled Sage, and this represents purification, invocation, the emotional body, not making this up, mystical sight. The message with this one was finding balance with emotional interplay. Like, how much more accurate could you get? Like, the interplay of emotions with others. That's like so Gemini with Cancer. The message here was to remain unattached and observational. The moon allows for navigation in our darkest hours. Look inward for insight. Gain awareness by observing the emotional effects on the body. shatter illusions, and surrender. So this card definitely had a vibe of like the moon deck or the moon card in Rider Waite, as it was definitely hitting on like the illusions. And I
Mm-hmm.
interpreted this as like the way that Gemini can overthink and think and like use that as their driving tool for connection. And but when you mix it with this like very powerful cardinal water sign, it's like the emotional awareness gets turned up and you have to have discernment to have like unattached observations still in your Gemini essence, but tapping into the darkness, tapping into the moon, the the illusions and all that, like whatever that is for you. So that
Mm-hmm.
was that. I pulled Three of Wands for this, and the message that I kind of came up with was explore new ideas of growth and potential for yourself. Don't turn away from things that may seem unusual for you. Um, Consider all sides and getting outside of your current environment to expand your mindset. This is another like, I just feel like Gemini, an old Gemini might be fixated on their environment. And they might, they might, like, I could, as much as Gemini is curious, like in its essence, and I do feel like that might be more predominant as an early Gemini. You're like, your curiosity is at an all time high. But towards the end of Gemini, I feel like the curiosity shifts into more like emotional depths. It's like, I want to know more about the things that aren't so like airy and like thought provoking, and it's wanting to expand in ways that might somebody might be like, just get out of your own way, like do something unusual. This is all about taking action in pursuit of the things that excite you, not just thinking about them, talking about them. So I thought that was really accurate to move into a cardinal sign that really wants to initiate from a sign that is very much thinking, talking, like communicating, but maybe not so much like taking the bold action. So I
Mm.
thought that was a really interesting uh, message for Gemini Cancer.
Mm. I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
Cancer, Leo. What are the dates?
Dates are July 19th to July 24th.
Okay, so Cancer to Leo, we're in the emotional understanding and the light of that like home life where you're being taken care of, you're
Mm.
being nurtured, right? And
Yes.
Cancer, late Cancer energy is like, okay, I'm understanding my emotional needs and the comfort of my own emotional home. So
Mm-hmm.
Cancer is understood, right? And
Mm-hmm.
in late Cancer. Into Leo energy is this energy of like, okay, I'm taken care of and now I want to like move outward and like be seen and be bold
Yes.
and be accepted and heard, and like I need my energy to be expressed boldly. I want to
Mm-hmm.
open my heart to other people, right? I want to like, now that I'm supported and I have the scaffolding of my home, I want to support others and I want to be bold and I want to express myself and I want to be seen. And yeah,
Yes.
Leo is like this fire. So I pulled the Knight of Cups, which is the end of Cancer. Is like
Mm.
this, I've got this like energy of like I am scouting around like my emotional landscape because I'm comfortable there. And then I pulled the Knight of Pentacles reversed and Eight of Wands
Mm.
again. So this was interesting. A bunch of cards came out. So it was the Knight of Pentacles is like this earth energy, which I thought was interesting to bring into water fire, where it's like kind of this groundedness of emotionality into this like,
Mm.
okay, expression. Like emotion is grounded enough to become a solid expression outward that feels heart centered and open, and you feel like you can live in it.
Mm.
And it's just the home into the boldness of wanting to be like recognized. And this cusp is like the like early Leo energy is like so innocent, so heart centered,
Mm-hmm.
so courageous, so bold, versus like late Leo, which we'll talk about next, is more like I feel like it's more refined and it's more like how do I
Mm-hmm.
want to present myself? But the Cancer Leo
Yes.
is just like it's this movement up into the heart, and it's the full raw fun and like unabashed expression. So
Oh
this
my
energy is like
gosh.
this
Yes.
it's fiery and it's there and it's emotionally just like the emotions are on the surface because you're so
Yeah.
deep in them with all of Cancer season and Cancer energy. And now they're
Oh my
just like there and ready to express. So that's what I got for
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And I just have to say, I know a few early Leos, and like, it's so
Mm.
accurate what you're saying. It's almost like their heart is on their sleeve.
Yes.
In ways, like in certain ways, it's not a bad, not definitely not like the bad side of that. It's more like you are expressing your pure authenticity from your heart, and like you said, I do feel like a later Leo is going to have a more refined expression of this and wanting to maybe put more thought behind the way it is expressing. And maybe
Because
this
the fire is
happens.
growing, like the fire is becoming more mature as Leo goes on. And
Yes.
I think it's really easy for Cancer Leo cusps to get their heart broken. So be careful.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and I feel like Leo early, oh God, what was I going to say? Yes. Either way, yes. What you were saying.
Yeah. Cool.
Exactly. Okay. So, as we are going Virgo, Libra. Isn't no, Leo Virgo, sorry.
Yeah,
It's
Leo
like
Virgo.
Leo Virgo. This is August 20th to August 25th. And yes, so we are just going into we are at the fixed fire and we're going into mutable earth. So, there is definitely still like I think when we did an episode, Kate, you were saying how the transition from Leo to Virgo is like you are high up in your Leo expression, right? And we didn't really touch on the refinement of this expression, but that's definitely an element with this late Leo. But you're coming from like this most expressive point of view. Maybe it's even like the feeling a late Leo might have this underlying feeling of just being like I've expressed so much of myself that I feel this weird comfort in the world, or I feel like my identity is definitely at a
It's
defined level
established.
where I'm so confident. Yeah, it's like they're so confident, the late Leo. But then Virgo is like the bringing back down to earth. And even just the seasonal symbolism of that time, Leo to Virgo, it feels it to me it feels the most like shifting from summer to fall in certain moments, like how we're in Virgo right now. It feels like things are coming down to earth. There's like this realization. It's like this eye-opening thing, which I feel like lends its way to Mercury and the sun ruling this last like era. You know what I mean? It's like the sun is defining it, but Mercury is now like, okay, let's put like thought and definition on this. So it brings it back down to earth. All of this
Mm.
to say, I pulled a very interesting card that I've never pulled with this herbal deck, Amanita. So this represented conduit, bridges of realities, not making this up, celebration, coming home, awakening.
Mm.
The guidance here was the feeling of being one with nature, coming home, and having a gift to see through the veil. Here to be a bridge for the children of the earth, not kidding you, and a conduit of safety and healing energy for the newer generations. All about embodying the medicine of children, laugh, play, sing, spreading joy, regardless of age. Create your own sense of belonging through connection and detox the body through breath of old energy. That was the message with this card. So I just felt the obvious Leo energy coming through with like embodying the medicine of children. But also I felt the Virgo thing about coming home and like having the reality, like the bridges of reality. Like Leo really is this like kind of this like bright, magnificent sign that kind of lends itself to not reality in certain ways. It's more like self defining and like not idealistic, but just having that like magic to you is like the Leo energy, the child and things like that. I thought this was just so accurate. So I
Mm.
pulled Seven of Swords for this one as well. This message was be honest with yourself and accept the real truth that you hold in your heart. Find awareness around the ways you may escape your own growth and healing. Have sharp awareness of the intentions of those around you and make sure that you are consistently connecting with your inner knowing when it comes to what and who you trust. So yeah, Seven of Swords. As if you're into tarot, you might know that that's it. Like it's more of like a negative energy, but this is also all negatives can also have both dualities in it. And I found this to be just more like finding awareness around the ways that you might escape your own growth and healing just for the sake of like Leo matters, like identifying a certain way or coming off in a certain way. Like as we said, like a late Leo might have this refining way of expressing themselves, but it could also like there could be ways that you might do that in a sense that's not totally aligned with like your heart or anything that has to do with like not aligning with your identity. So message is to hold the truth in your heart, in your expression, and always stay grounded in your heart's expression is what my message is for Leo Virgo.
I think also one more thing with Leo Virgo reminds me of a field of like herbs, and Leo is the fire that it sets fire to the land, unfortunately, and it's burning away the stuff that you don't need, and in a way it's organizing, because Virgo is all about organization and like refinement, and it's burning away the things you don't need. So there's this energy of like fucking burning away what doesn't serve you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not aligned with your heart, not and
Yeah.
won't serve you into this descent that we are about to get into. Like we
Like
are at the culmination. We're at the middle now. So,
Virgo is
it's
like
really like
refining. And
yeah,
within the
Virgo's like
refining, you have to let things go.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Virgo, Libra. What are the dates?
Oh, yes. Sorry. September 20th to September 25th.
Okay.
So we are right around there
So,
right now.
yeah. Virgo, Libra. This cusp is often called the cusp of beauty.
Ooh.
Virgo, late Virgo is again, it's like purifying. So, in a way, it knows what to let go of, it knows what to get rid of, in order to come into balance. Right?
Yes.
Virgo is Libra is all about
Yes.
balance. So this is the energy of this is really when we come into the second half of the zodiac, which is the top of the birth chart, right? It's the more external version or part of the birth chart. So it's a me into we. This is the real shift from me as my refinements and my purity and my perfectionism, whether or not it's good or bad, whatever. This takes me into now, okay, I've refined what it is that like my expression is and how my heart likes to express, right? Leo into Virgo and now into Libra. Libra is all about, okay, I'm partnering now. And Libra is taking on like an early Libra is you have a tendency and an energy of taking on someone else's world, taking in someone else's world, because now you've let go, you've literally burned away the stuff that really doesn't you don't need, which may have been painful, and now you're blessed with like this beauty of partnering with somebody else, whether it be platonic, romantic, whatever partner, like a business partnership, and you're taking on someone else's world in a sense, and it creates two separate entities, which balance, partnership, and merging all lends itself to. So I for this one I pulled Judgment, and the Emperor. So
Ooh.
the Emperor is like it's this energy of like ruling and organization and this masculine principle, which I thought was interesting. And early Libra has this energy of like the earth, and late Libra can be more like flowy and airy and refined and like and beauty and all of these like airy energies. But I think early Libra and late Virgo, it has this, it's no doubt it has this like masculine kind of
More
force.
structured. Yes, it has a
It's
force.
the
It has a
structure.
force to be reckoned with because it's like the equinox. It
Yeah.
is the equinox. The middle of this is like the equal parts. We're at the total balance, and like the precision is at an all-time high. The the like young balance, the want of like wanting things evenly is in total
It's
expression.
Yeah, so it's like a concentrated energy of awakening to yourself. It's creating and implementing rules, structure, and discipline in order to then merge worlds with something or someone else. So you have,
With the outside
so it's like
world,
it's
yeah.
like it's like I have pain and you have pain. Let's focus on the spiritually connected parts of that so we can create something that's togetherness.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Virgo Libra.
Yeah. I love that. I'm I love that energy and yeah, I find it so interesting like the equinox obviously it's another like mutable into cardinal energy, so it's like that it's always going to be powerful when you're shifting into a cardinal sign, and it's always going to feel kind of like abrupt. To me,
Yeah.
I at least just feel that maybe it's because I have like a bit of planets right at the cusp of cardinal signs, but always feels like jolting and like holy wow, okay, I feel this shift of energy. Okay, so we are at Libra Scorpio. The dates for this are October 10th to October 25th, if you're a sun sign in this area. Um, so with this, it is shifting from cardinal air to fixed water. So we are going from, and again, we're shifting into like the emotional depths of this, the one of the first descending constellations that we get to after this like big abrupt change of equal balance, things that are like everything culminated to this balancing point, and now it's like getting into something new. That's how I always see Scorpio, is like we're at the beginning of something new here. It's the beginning of a quarter, and there's there's stuff to be learned, and as we're just getting deeper and deeper, it feels like.
It's like a tipping of the scales.
Yeah. Yeah. If yes, exactly. And it's like like the heavier weight is being drawn down now. The sun is obviously descending and all of that. The symbolism of that is definitely present here. I pulled reishi, like the mushroom, for this the herbal astrology oracle, and this was totally symbolic of this culmination. The representation was retreat, hibernation, meditation, and replenishment of spirit. So the message here was to take a pause and recuperate, recharge your mental and emotional and physical battery. Personal growth is to follow from this step back, which I found very symbolic because Sagittarius is next, and that really is all about personal growth and Jupiter and everything expansion. So overstimulation can lead to stress in the body, and I found this very symbolic coming after any cardinal sign. I do feel like these times, even like the mutable two cardinal energies that are shifting, like that time can be overstimulating, like how we are in a mutable sign right now. I feel like for the most part, most people in the world feel the energy of like shifting into fall from summer because everything changes. Even in society, it changes. It probably changes the most out of any other time of year. Things go back to like organized systems, and it's like everyone's gearing down for winter, so it's like that overstimulation can be ever present here. So this can lead to stress in the body, and before you take on the next challenge, it's important to refresh. See beyond the confines of your physical reality through dream time. Reflect. So yeah, I thought that was very symbolic of Scorpio as well. That reflection, the meditation, the replenishment of spirit. I think Scorpio is a sign like the young Scorpio, early Scorpio is like wants to. Also in general, maybe this is a thing. Early signs, like the early degrees of a sign, they're it's more simple. It's more simple. It's like the early Scorpio just wants to go deep, and that's it. So like to me this was very like okay, I just want to relax. I just want to rest. Let me just like go deep for a minute so that I can like get my bearings. And I feel like that's just really symbolic of like a young or early Scorpio energy. So yeah, I pulled Eight of Wands, a push to be bold, spontaneous, and match your true soul desires with your actions. Observe what may be holding you back and have the awareness to push forward. You may at times crave excitement and adventure, and this message is saying to follow these urges. So yeah, this was more like it's a little bit harder to connect this with Scorpio Libra for me, but I thought it was just maybe symbolic for somebody to hear right now, or just to the boldness the boldness energy here is definitely like speaking to me, and following the urges of excitement I think could definitely be something that Scorpios might need to hear. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah,
After the rest.
yeah, I think Libra Scorpio energy is it's interesting because it's yeah, Scorpio wants to go really deep, but like maybe early Scorpio was like I don't want to go too deep.
Right.
So yeah, no, I love that. So move
Yeah.
to Scorpio Sag.
Yes.
So what are the dates for that?
Scorpio Sagittarius is November 19th to November 24th.
Okay, so Scorpio has then matured a little bit. So after Scorpio goes deep and it like replenishes, it's then saying, "Oh, this I would like to understand and uncover this pattern, or I'd like to maybe rewire this thing within myself." And Scorpio is also within relationships. So it's not just with itself, it's with the other. So it's death and it's rebirth and it's that whole cycle. So I feel like with early Scorpio, it's like death. And then with middle Scorpio, it's like compost. And then
Yeah.
with late Scorpio, it's like the rebirth. So then the Scorpio
Yeah.
Sag cusp, we're talking really about this rebirth of like moving into then truth and understanding. And now that we understand the depths and we've gone into like the deepest, darkest corners, which takes a long time, and then we've emerged again as a being who would like to now travel and would like to now adventure and learn and absorb the
Oh my
energy
God.
of the outside world and the truth, because Scorpio,
Yes.
like, it can only go into those depths for so long, and then we learn a lesson, and then we then have this spiritual understanding, because now we're in the later signs, so we have this like spiritual understanding and this like something that we'd like to now in our minds, we'd like to compare it, we'd like to like put it against the world screen and say, okay, this is what other cultures are doing. I want to experience fun, I want to adventure, I want to learn the outside world. And that's
Yeah.
very Sag energy. I fucking love Sag energy. It's like the adventure, it's spontaneity, it's absorbing and learning, and it's selfless. And it's also can be like self-seeking, as if it's like seeking for the truth of its experience and why it's here. And it can be really ruthless in that energy. So, Scorpio Sag energy, I pulled the Chariot. So this is huge because it's understanding those depths, and then it's like full force moving forward. The Chariot is like this these two horses that have a chariot, and there's two people in the chariot, and it's like moving forward, but it's an emotional. It's a water-based card, right? So there's like we're still in this emotional depths, but something is propelling us, something that
Yeah.
we have found and experienced within our own psyche, within our rejuvenation time, is propelling us forward in such a way where we are now out in the world and we're like on a mission. So
Yeah.
that is Scorpio Sag cusp. It's like this actionable energy. It's this fusion of depth, connection, rebirth, and adventure, and where that can take you. And early Sag is so curious as well, kind of the same as like this Gemini energy of like, but it's more philosophy focused. It's more, I want to understand the law of the universe. I want to like feel it
Yeah.
inside of my body. And then as we move from Sag to Capricorn, Liz will read the Sag Cap cusp.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing about the Scorpio Sag thing, what you said. I had this like weird, I just feel like the journey of Scorpio is the journey of, like you said, the compost, but the end of Scorpio specifically is the fertile ground for growth. It's like you have made the compost throughout Scorpio because you like initially wanted to just go deep. You do all the transformation in like middle Scorpio, and then like the end is like fertile ground for growth, and that's just really symbolic to me with like the Jupiter rulership of Sagittarius and like what everything you said, what it brings is just like it just seems so symbolic of that journey, like the fertile ground for growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Sagittarius Capricorn, the dates are December 18th to December 23rd. So basically just going off of what you said, like I feel like late Sagittarius is almost, I feel like this might come as a surprise. Almost, I get like a hermit energy. Like it feels like you have culminated all of this knowledge. You have like gone out to seek this expansion, and you are now in the mode of like going into some form of isolation. This is again, we're going from mutable to cardinal. So this is maybe jolting in a sense of like you're now bringing this fire down to reality, and now there's like this need to want to build from this knowledge from that you've gained throughout the world. Like the world experience is now in you, and now you have this like drive to create something. So I pulled Mandrake as the herbal deck with the herb Mandrake. It's a root actually, so I found that symbolic as well with like the winter solstice. Like this is the winter solstice time. We are in the ground. It's rooted earth energy. So this kind of like just based on that, unexpectedly represents sensuality, discovering new forms of intimacy, expression of healthy sexuality, and abundance. The message here was what inspires bliss, passion, and joy into your life. Notice what focus points give you the most flow and attraction to your desires. Liberate your creativity and release energy from your sacral centers and activate your pleasure centers. Don't allow fear of rejection or unworthiness to stop you from expressing this aspect of you. Open up to receive fully and fearlessly. So I thought this was definitely like maybe not what you would expect as like a Capricorn reading. But then again, I thought about it again and I was like, well, as you're in Sagittarius, you have literally like broken your heart open, hopefully. Like your heart is wide open. You have like expanded, you've received everything. It's like Jupiter, like there's growth that is happening within you. So there is obviously vulnerability in that growth, because without vulnerability, I feel like growth cannot happen. So there is this like symbolism here of like being open and having this open energy be more fixated on like the receptivity, the yin, like the feminine, and like liberating your creativity and releasing. It's like the culmination of all Sagittarius. It's like let's like release this, like be creative and expressive in this, to then like feel the message or the symbolism of Capricorn. What is it wanting from you? It feels like a refreshing thing, this card, and it felt very like we're heading into cardinal again, so there's like this new shift into a new quarter. There's going to be a whole new energy to deal with. So with this, I pulled the Nine of Wands. The message here: your willpower and determination may be tested. So this feels very much like it just went right into like Capricorn. It was like, okay. Feelings of exhaustion may be present if you've been working a lot on self-improvement and goal reaching, which I was like, it seems like a message for like literally the latest Sagittarius into Capricorn, what you might be feeling. So, where my rest may be needed to balance the passion that lives inside of you. You have an inner knowing, Sagittarius, that you have what it takes to succeed, and it is okay to take a moment to rebuild your strength. Life shouldn't always feel like a struggle, so do something nice for yourself. Um,
Capricorn.
yes, I was like, this is definitely the most accurate. Like you have this inner knowing that you have what it takes to succeed. Like maybe that's a message for late Sagittarius. Like you probably are now obtained, like you have all that knowledge, and you're like, okay, I know I can succeed now. Maybe that's like a late Sagittarius, like thing in your life always. If you are late Sagittarius, maybe you just have this knowing that like with all that you know, you have what it takes. And maybe it's just more about taking action, but also doing something nice for yourself, because maybe you do feel the challenge of Capricorn and you need to rest and rebuild strength.
Sag Cap, that's such a good. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I just love that cusp. So
Yeah.
with Capricorn, now we're moving into the Capricorn, late Capricorn energy into the Aquarius energy. So what are the dates for
Yes.
Capriquarius?
Capriquarius, January 17th to January 22nd.
Okay. So with Capricorn, we have okay, so with Sag we have gotten the wisdom of the world. And then the cusp that we just went over is like maybe you might start to feel the pressure of Capricorn. So take care of
Exactly.
yourself, like Liz was saying. But like this Capricorn energy of it's going back down to the earth. There's this need and this desire to build with Capricorn. You're building a world. You've seen the world, you've seen the outside wisdom, and you've gathered and absorbed a lot of teachings. And now with Cap Aquarius, we are building that world. We're building something that's like a business. I think of business when I think of Capricorn, business that serves others, where it embodies the wisdom that you have found in your life to be inspiring. And on the cusp of Cap Aquarius, Capricorn can be selfish. It can be like, I want to build this for myself, but I also want to build it for others, but I like also really want to build it for myself. And Aquarius energy comes in and it's like, wait a minute, we need to see the whole picture and we need to like bring humanitarianism into your business plan. So like how is your business serving the whole? How is your business serving like the humanity? And is there maybe a fundraiser? Is there maybe something we can do to donate some money to like people that really need it? So Aquarius is bringing in the needs of the whole and the needs of the people. So there was I pulled the Four of Pentacles energy, and it's like this seeding of like I've created all these things and this stability, which is Four Pentacles. I've
Yes.
created this stability. Four creates a foundation, and I'm sitting in that, and I'm like hugging this, and I'm just like I'm here. I've created this beautiful structure, whatever it may be. But then in the background of the card, there's like the city behind you, and there's the whole, and it's like, okay, how is this going to serve the future? Like,
If you're
think about
holding it,
not just your what?
if you're holding it so tight.
Yeah, it's like, why not just see how this can serve the future, not just your lifetime, but the
Yeah.
lifetime of generations to come. So that is very Cap Aquarius cusp. For me, it's like Aquarius, early Aquarius might be a little naive and it's like, oh, I want to help everybody. But it's also gained a lot of wisdom throughout the whole zodiac. So it's wise. It's already
Yeah.
so unique. And Aquarius energy is unique and in itself it's like the most unique sign. So it understands the individuality that corporate Capricorn like holds onto like very stubbornly.
Yes.
Capricorn is wise, but it's like it holds on to that individualism and like I built this. And then Aquarius brings into that and it says you can be so unique but also like serve the whole by being more of yourself. Then by more of yourself, I'm asking you to be fucking weird. I'm asking you to be more of the weirdness that you are because we need more of that in the world for other people to have permission to do it themselves.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. And Aquarius wants you to share. Like it's like
Yeah.
share the gift. Like share it because people need it. It's like the person who like me, is like, if you have art to share in the world, or if you have any message to share in the world, your uniqueness is what is going to set you apart. And
Yeah.
therefore, no matter what you have going, it is always, 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 always going to be worth sharing it, because you might just hit a chord with somebody that nobody else could ever do. Do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's
Yeah.
like my pure belief. Maybe that's because I have Aquarius on the IC. Maybe that's like a thing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
All right, I love that. Okay, so we are at the last one. This is Aquarius into Pisces energy. The dates for this is February 15th to February 20th. And basically, what I like, the general interpretation here for me is is you are now situating yourself to be connected with the world on like a larger global scale. And I do sense that from basically Virgo, you are always taking steps as you go in more to the zodiac up into Pisces. You are getting more and more fixated with like the world. So like you're like even more every step you take from Capricorn to Aquarius, Aquarius to Pisces, even before that, like Scorpio is like diving in. Sagittarius is expanding, seeing the world for the first time. Capricorn is like, okay, I get it. Let me build something with this. Aquarius is like, serve people. And then Pisces is like, how is this gonna be? Pisces is like the spiritual thing, and it's just like, you have created a canvas for the universe. And it's like
Mm.
this ethereal, it's like the
It's
ethereal,
emotions. Hmm.
it's where the global pulse of humanity connects with the spirit of life and the spirit of the universe, and how it has been the inspiration all along. Like that's how I see Pisces. Is like it's always in the back. It's always in the backdrop, but it's like always inspiring the action. But Aquarius is so close to Pisces that the fusion of them to me is very much the connection between humanity and like the beauty, the spirit of life. So with
Hmm.
this, I pulled hibiscus as the herb, and this represents nectar, grace, beauty, divine feminine, nurturing, creativity, and abundance, which I thought very much speaks to like Venus in Pisces, like the the like exaltation of Pisces. Um, so the essence of grace that binds the universe into form, which I was
Mm.
like, okay, like this is literally the culmination of all things. The nurturer, cradler of life, Pisces, always express your creativity to bring this joyful energy back to you, as much as you give it to others. You are worthy of all of your power, your blessings. Know that pain is just a thread within the fabric of joy, which I thought was a beautiful quote that I took directly from the interpretation, which I don't know. All of this very much feels like the overall energy of the zodiac, like just the like Pisces energy, how it has everything in it. It is like all that could possibly be the most expansive form of the zodiac is in this interpretation to me.
Hmm.
I pulled the Six of Swords as well. And this message was, leave your worries and your cares behind for the sake of your own well being. You've gone through quite a bit to be where you're at, and there is acknowledgement here of your need for peace and positive transition. Soothe your worries by taking your best efforts at relieving them from your body, your energy, but know that taking sustainable efforts versus efforts that may be temporary will serve you greater in the long run. So
Mm.
this also felt more like a personal message, maybe for an Aquarius Pisces cusp person, but also I do see like the energy of just like having a lot on your back, or just having everything on you, because we are at the end and this is like kind of the culmination of everything once again. So I do also sense that Aquarius Pisces people may have like mental, or just like like something having to do with health that feels maybe overwhelming at times, because I do feel like Aquarius energy, as you've mentioned, is like the culmination of all other, and it is still reality based, like we are still in that reality, but Pisces definitely transitions it to something greater and something even more larger that we like can't see or just have only a feeling of. But Aquarius is like not only an air sign, so it's like the mental processes of everything, but it's also taking in the utmost consideration of others. And that to me, I feel like could have like some overwhelming traits in certain ways. So I love that it says like leave your worries and cares behind for the sake of your own well-being, because I think that that may be something that needs to be heard for
Yeah.
Aquarius Pisces.
So, and something else about Aquarius Pisces is Aquarius is the water bearer. So it's holding the container of all of our emotional experience, which is water. And then Pisces
Exactly.
is the water. It's our emotional depths, and it's like the deepest, darkest parts of that. So it's how our emotions connect to what we've done for for the humans, for people, and connecting it back to like our emotional experience and our spiritual connection to all.
Yes,
That's really beautiful. I love the hibiscus.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was so cool that it was like Venus
Cool.
and all of that.
Yeah. So those are our interpretations. The fusion of energy is so interesting, and it kind of creates this whole connectivity of like how the zodiac goes around in a circle and the cycle of the whole zodiac.
And
And
yeah, it's a
yeah,
story.
yeah, it really
It's
is like a
a story.
story.
And
So
yeah,
if you guys have any questions, any comments, please comment below. We'd love to hear.
yes. And we will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.